Hi folks, welcome back. If this is the first video section you've seen, welcome. I'm going to show you how to make Daffy Duck now. This is one of my favorite balloons. I thought him up several years ago and he's been very popular with the kids, young and old. I'm going to turn him around real slow so you can get a good look at him, because I know that's important. When I learn how to make balloons, I like to have a good look at them. I don't want you to forget, when we get to the tail, you got to make a DA on the duck, okay? Alright, and another thing, Daffy has a white collar, so be sure you always put that white collar in there too, alright? It doesn't take that many balloons. This one requires two black 260s, one white 260, one goldenrod 260, and one orange 260. Now I'm going to set this Daffy aside, and we're going to make his twin, okay? So we're going to take a black 260, inflated all but about 4 inches, okay? And you know, I need to say this on this video segment at least, because I haven't mentioned it on some of the others. But whenever I inflate my balloons, especially when I'm using the pump, is I always burp the balloon. I fill it up and then I let a little air out, release a little. It softens the balloon up, makes it a little easier to twist, okay? Let's take a handful, 3.5 inches, okay? And another 1 inch bubble. We're going to fold that down, and we're going to make this a second 3.5 inch bubble, the length of the first one we made, or thereabouts. Now I like to take the knot of the balloon and just pull it through these two just once, and that keeps it from untwisting. Now we're going to take this top 1 inch bubble and ear twist it. Okay, that's going to make the top knot on top of Daffy's head. Okay, now we're going to take a 1 inch bubble here for the neck, followed by three, about 8 inch bubbles. Sometimes you have to adjust those bigger or smaller depending on how much balloon you have inflated. But you know, you'll learn that when you practice. So we have the two. Now we're going to lay this down and do a third segment. Roll that through. I like to do it at least twice. Sometimes, you know, the little fingers like to try to take these apart. Now we have a couple inches left. I'd actually like to have a little bit more than that, but I want to squeeze that, soften it up, stretch it out a little. Now we're going to take the tip of that balloon, bring it back into the body, and we're going to twist this. We're just making a little loop here out of what was left for the tail. Now I'm going to take the end of that balloon and run it through that loop just once, and then just position the rest of that up inside the folds of the body there. It hides it nice, okay? Pretty simple so far, isn't it? Okay, now let's grab the section of the white balloon. Actually inflated two sections off the same white one. First section's about 7 inches long, okay? This is going to be Daffy's eyes, so we're going to divide this in half. See how close I come the first try. Whoa, I'm way off. Let's try that again. Well, I'm getting closer. There we go, I like that. Third time was a charm. I'm going to wrap this around the top knot. I'm going to go around that just once. Okay, and then I'm going to tie the ends of the white one together. So one knot there is plenty to hold that. Now we're going to take those and wrap them around the top of the neck here. Make sure you get them in there good and tight. And I'll take those two ends and I'll just hide them up here in the back of his head, okay? You could trim those off, I guess, if you wanted to tie them in a knot together back there, but I just find that's quicker and easier. And usually when I make these big balloons, I don't do this when I'm working a line of kids that make balloons. I'll make these up ahead of time, give them to the birthday child or for a special presentation. I'll make them up ahead of time, put them in a bag. Okay, now let's take a goldenrod. It's inflated all but about 2 inches. This is going to be for his bill and his cheeks. So we're going to take about, a 3-inch loop here at the nozzle end. I'll just hide the nozzle up inside that loop once we twist it. I'm going to twist another one that same side, about 3 inches. Okay, so we have the two loops there. Now we're going to come out, we're going to take about 2/3 of the remainder here and bring it back. That's going to make the top of his bill, okay? Now I'm going to take the straight section here, run through the bill just once. That'll keep it from coming untwisted now. Now we're going to grab the tip end of that and bring it back and twist another loop. This loop is going to be smaller than the first. This will be the bottom of this bill. Okay. Oops. Now we're going to take Daffy and put his bill on right here, the top of his neck. I'm going to take the first two 3-inch loops we made and put one on each side of his head, then cross them in the back. Just hold them together, okay? Or actually hold them on. They actually won't be together, they'll be apart. I'll show you. Okay, so there's the two cheeks. Now we just crossed them onto the back of his head, hold it all on there securely, okay? Now his beak's pretty straight. Or his bill. I guess ducks have bills, birds have beaks. It's kind of confusing to me. But if you take the top part of his bill and you just fold it and rub it back and forth just a little bit, it'll hold that curve. I think it looks a lot more cartoony that way. Now at this point I'm going to put some simple eyes on him. And I know there's a lot of you people out there that have a lot more talent with drawing than I do, and will probably come up with some better looking eyes. I just do some straight lines with some simple eyebrows above him. And I think it looks nice. The kids never complain. They always like this one. Oh, you know what I did? I went and forgot a second black one, so I'm just going to puff one up here real quick. This one doesn't need to be very long, maybe 14, 16 inches. These are going to be, this is actually going to be his wings. Although don't let him fly away, okay? Much more fun if you keep him around. Now I'm just using my envelope opener to trim the ends of those balloons. Kind of just cleans it up a little. I like to do that. I do that a lot of balloons. I just trim the nozzles off. He just cleans it up some. Now we're going to twist these in at the base of his neck. Just like we did the bill. We're just going to bring them in at the base and then I cross them in the front just once. And then I'll position those down in the body here. I'll turn his head so you can see. Between the three sections that make up his body, I'll leave one section in front, and then I put a wing between it and the back too. Okay. Now give those little character. We're going to do the same thing we did with the bill. We're just going to fold those up a little and rub it a little, and now give it a little curve to it. I'll do that on both sides for you. Real nice. Now if I got time, I'll show you how to make a heart real easy out of a 260 using that same technique. Not in this segment, but maybe another. We'll include that as a bonus. Now I have another section of the white that was left from his eyes that I've inflated a couple inches. It doesn't take much. We're going to make that white ring for his neck. So I want to make 2 ear twists, but I want them a little bit soft. So we're going to twist a 1-inch bubble that's fairly soft, see? And then we're going to whoops. I didn't twist it enough. Let's try that again. Okay. Yep, that's pretty soft. Okay, we're going to ear twist that. And now we're going to do the same thing over here with the second bubble. This can be a little tricky to get on his neck sometimes. But I think it really adds to the sculpture. I'm going to start that over because I think I just knocked a hole in that one. But that's okay. I can say overs, can't I? Sure. That never happens to any of you when you're twisting, does it? I'm sure it does. We'll just get another little segment here. I'm going to trim the nozzle a little bit off of that one to start. I leave a little there because I still do need to ear twist it. But I didn't want that big ring on the end of the nozzle. I didn't want to have to try to hide it on his neck because I don't have a lot of balloon there. We'll take the 2 1-inch bubbles that are soft, remember, we just get a little air out of them first, and ear twist those. And I like to twist at least 4 half turns, 6 would be better. And then you either take your envelope opener and cut this section off, or I just take my fingers and snap it on the balloon and get it to break off. It drives my wife nuts. She can't do that. And I don't know where I learned it, to tell you the truth, but we end up with two little ear twists, white little ear twists, that we're gonna slip this on the bottom of his neck, and it's kind of a trick. And you'll practice this one a little. You slip that around his neck and then cross him once. You don't always have to cross them if you get them wedged in there pretty good. This is kind of a trick. And sometimes you'll break them right here. So remember what I told you earlier in the monkey out in the tree when I said you got to be fearless sometimes when you twist balloons, and sometimes faster is better. You have to practice and just see what works the best for you. Okay, we got it in there now. Hopefully you can see that. I'll tip his head back a little, where you can see the white. Makes his collar. Now you watch the cartoons, you know, and you see that Daffy does indeed have a white collar. A collar, I call it a collar. I'm not sure that's the correct term, but that works for me. We just need to put some feet on our duck, and I think we'll have him done. And for that, I'm going to set him out of the way here for a minute. I'm going to take an orange, and you know, whenever I can, I should say this, whenever I can when I choose colors, I like to choose the standard colors because they're more solid. They're not as opaque or they're not as clear as the other jewel tones and fashion tone balloons. And I think they look a lot better because they're more solid. So again, it's personal preference, but you see what you like. If you like using the jewel tones and that, by all means do. I trim the nozzle off again. 260 orange, all but about 2 inches inflated, okay? I'm just going to fold this down. I'm going to take about 6 inches, let's say 8. And I fold it down, and then I'm going to divide it in the middle here. Hopefully that makes sense. So I have about 8 inches folded over to start, and so we have about a 4-inch loop here and a 3.5, so maybe we have a 7-inch loop here and a 3.5-inch segment left. So we're going to take this straight segment and force it down into that loop. Now hold this up so you can see. It's really easy. You just make a loop with the little end and force it in there. Okay, we're going to follow that with a 1-inch bubble, and we're going to ear twist this bubble, okay? That's going to hold the foot out for us. That'll hold it out straight now. And then we're going to squeeze the balloon so we force the air to the other end here. Okay, so that makes this whole section soft. We're going to fold that down like we did the first part and twist it. And then we're going to tuck this piece there like that, okay? Follow that with a 1-inch bubble. And that's right, we're going to ear twist that too. Now we got to find the center of that segment in the middle here. I'm going to fold that over and then twist it. Yeah, that's pretty darn close. Now here comes the tricky part. We're going to insert this right through the hole here in the side of his body, okay? Might be easier if you put the balloon through there before twisting the feet on it, you know? I've never done it that way, so I guess I could try. I'd have to be a lot more accurate, though, on my dimensions. Oops. Put one to get away from me. Now remember how we gave the arms a little character? We're going to do the same thing with the legs. I'm going to bend them in and rub them just a little bit. And then we'll position them. Oops, I better get his arms down a little bit. We don't want him to take flight. Okay, and there you have it, Daffy Duck. Now I sure hope you enjoyed this one as much as I do. Thank you.